Now, this has been the center of attention for most of us around the country. Almost 250 cash-in-transit robberies have taken place this year alone. Now, that's a 30% increase from the same period last year. The Cash-in-Transit Association of South Africa is worried about this countrywide phenomenon. Joining us now this morning is the association's Grant Clark. A very good morning to you, Grant. Thank you for your time this morning. You know, we were talking, Grant, to Premier Panyaza Lesofi just a moment ago. And this is actually the question that we're asking the ENCA South African Mourning family today, as in, what do we do about this rising spate of cash-in-transit heists? What are the solutions? The Premier says that he suggests that we have a cashless society. That basically means that there's no cash to move from point A to point B, so therefore that reduces the likelihood of the robbers attacking these vans. Do you think that's a viable solution, as somebody who's very intimately involved in the industry?
Tammy, good morning to you, and also good morning to all your viewers, and thank you very much for the opportunity to join you this morning. I think the Premier is correcting what he's saying. You know, from a cashless society point of view, you're taking away cash. However, in South Africa at the moment, I think we are way away from that. I think, you know, we need to strive to get to a cashless society. There will always be cash movement, however, you know, in the cash cycle in South Africa, there will always be movement of cash. But certainly that is a solution in terms of moving towards a cashless society.
Now, we know that when it gets towards Christmas, that is when the spate of cash-in-transit hijackings increases. But yet we are seeing this now in October. But in truth, this has actually been going on since the beginning of the year. So are there actually cycles? Is there actually a trend as to when these heists actually happen?
Well, Tammy, there's not really a trend. We've seen in the past number of years, about the last 3 years, we've seen consistently high numbers of CITs in South Africa on a monthly basis. I mean, if we think about July, we had 34 incidents, more incidents than days in the month. We normally see a spike, you're correct, towards the festive season, starting over the November-December period, quieting down towards the end of December, then into January, over that festive period. We have, however, seen, you know, already this month, as you've mentioned, we've got more incidents than we've got days in the month. So extremely concerning for us. We are working very closely with our law enforcement partners, the South African Police Services at all levels, and we are trying our best, you know, with them to come up with plans to stem the number of incidents that we're seeing in the industry.
You mentioned that you're working very closely with the SAPS, and this weekend there was one video that was literally making the rounds on social media at the N12 scene of the crime, where one of the vehicles had overturned and was in flames. And the onlooker was exclaiming that 30 minutes had gone by. 30 minutes had gone by and there was not a sight of a police van or any sort of authority on the scene. What do you make of these very tardy, seemingly very tardy response times by the police?
Well, I would like to respond on behalf of the police that the time that you mentioned now in terms of the response is concerning. And the South African Police Services themselves will have to comment on that. You know, when I say we are working very closely with them at all levels, at provincial level, at national level, we have coordinated meetings, and it's only through the collaborative effort with industry as well as our law enforcement partners that we're going to deal with this. We have been asking now for quite a while through the National Commission's office for the establishment of a task force that will specifically look at these CITs and get a grip on what we see happening in South Africa currently.
Where would you say are the hotspots? Which provinces?
Well, the province mostly hit in South Africa is the Gauteng province, being the capital. And then we move over to KZN, Eastern Cape, Limpopo and Mpumalanga. Those are the areas that we're really concerned about, where we see the highest number of incidents taking place.
We'll leave it at that for this morning, sir. We thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was Grant Clark from the Cash-in-Transit Association of South Africa, highlighting the hotspots there.